Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 3rd of April for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you some standout details that we can all collectively relate to, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep into each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, it's great to have you with us, and I'd be honoured if you'd subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. This is very much a community, so please share any thoughts you have. I do interact with each one. So as we come into this new week, Mercury, the planet of communication, which rules the sign of Gemini, but also the sign of Virgo, where its influence is much more to do with precision. Its move into Taurus is asking us to grapple with the foundations in our lives, especially the ones to do with everyday finance, I feel. But the second house energy of Taurus is also about how we feel about ourselves, our self-worth and our values. But it's clashing with the mighty but tiny Pluto almost straight away. So Monday through to Wednesday could see some tensions around a group situation or around a closer relationship where our values may not align quite as closely with somebody else, perhaps as much as we thought they had done, or any differences that have been there can come to the surface, can be revealed. Pluto often keeps things out of sight, so there could be some revelations in this early part of the week. But there's also, from Tuesday to Saturday, Mercury actually forges a very constructive link to Saturn. So if we can tap in to past experiences, knowledge and instincts, our instincts, in a positive way, that can help us to make the most of our resources. Also, Saturn is linking brilliantly this week to Mars, with both Mars in Cancer and Saturn in Pisces, two water signs. I think the provocative energy of Mars, it's not at its best in Cancer, of course, it's in a full. I think that's saying, look, it's okay to grapple with emotions and perhaps even be a little bit more vulnerable. So we could see some people opening up about their core values or opening up about their feelings. Also, from Wednesday to Sunday, a glorious link between Venus and Neptune is really quite idealistic. So if there's someone coming through in our situation who we really do admire and has the kind of qualities that we can really respect, this could be something that gives us a lot of uplift. The key to that particular aspect is not to have unrealistic expectations. But of course, relationships really come sharply into focus on the back of the full moon. For most people, this is going to occur on Thursday. For those people who live on the west coast of America, it is on Wednesday. But Chiron, the wounded healer, is very close to the sun, as is Jupiter. And I feel that there is an opportunity here for all of us to think again about the connections we have, to not necessarily just view things in binary terms of they're with us, they're not with us. Life has become so polarized. If you can see the nuances in situations and the experience of our journey through this existence that are really quite mutual, that's going to be something we can gain from this. But with Uranus forging a quincunx to the moon position, it could be that in some situations, differences over money or how it's spent or those values could be the part of the relationship which really does need some attention. Now, as this week draws to a close, Venus is forging a wonderful angle to Pluto. This really can help us to appreciate the very special alliances we have in our lives. And also a little bit of fortune is starting to bubble up, potentially, as the week draws to a close, as the Sun is approaching Jupiter in Aries. They're actually going to meet up in person, so to speak, next Tuesday. that will be when the aspect becomes exact. But this is one of the most fortifying of all planetary aspects in astrology. So if energy has been a little bit low, physical vitality, there's a lot of things that we're absorbing these days that can make us feel a little bit depleted. So I feel that there's an opportunity to feel a sense of uplift. But overall, this is a week which is asking us to engage with feelings and also the reality of our everyday resources and our need for security, and just feed that into how we're thinking about our need to get our own way, very Aries energy, against how we need to collaborate and connect to others, that Libran full moon. Please stay with me now as I dive deep with each of the 12 signs. But if you would like to ascend above this zodiac forecast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can prepare for you your life roadmap report. This can help you to get a much more intimate understanding of the patterns that have played out in your existence so far. And also my special package of 30% off, you can order your 12-month personal forecast. Totally unique to you, just like your life roadmap report. And this can give searing insights of how to make the most of the upcoming months. If you don't know your time of birth, I have developed a new solar chart and forecast package, which also has 30% off. Please see the link below for more information on both. Your week commencing the 3rd of April forecast, Sagittarius, begins with Mercury switching out of a very creative, bubbly, outgoing sector into a more practical, precise one. But you can make this work for you very well. It's just that Mercury instantly clashes with Pluto, the planet of power, and of course the things that can often be a little bit out of sight. There could be some brittleness at the start of this week, but perhaps part of this is a resistance on your part to accept that if something that's meaningful to you, perhaps in the creative realm, is going to become something more substantive, you are going to have to grapple with those finer practical strands that sometimes you can find to be a little dull. But actually later this week, the Sun in Aries, your sister fire sign, is linking with your ruler in an increasingly powerful way. This is going to reach a peak on the 11th in the week following this one, but they come into contact enough to suggest that your enthusiasm and verve and passion can still sparkle outwards. It's just that in order to really make the practical progress you want and the traction, you may need to sift through some finer details first. But Mercury then goes on to forge a very pragmatic link to Saturn. If there's anything you're doing around your home, a do-it-yourself project, decluttering, trying to be a bit more organized in general, that's a great link. Also, Venus in your sector of work and potentially of sacrifice is linking in a very sweet way to Neptune. In your domestic environment, if you do something to help someone else, especially if you're in a shared environment, it could be something that really does get appreciated in a big way. So thoughtful gestures, whether it's inside the home or within the wider family, can definitely go down well. But of course, the full moon is the big talking point of this week, not least because your ruler Jupiter is so close to the Sun, along with the healer Chiron. What does this mean for you? Well, I feel that if you feel a little bit conflicted because friends don't really share some of the excitement that you're feeling for some of your more personal expressive strands, that could seem a little bit disappointing. Someone could even be quite direct and a bit jarring in terms of their criticism and may try to zone in to one part of what you're trying to do and be very searing in their observations. But you've got to stick with what you believe in. So this full moon is asking you to manage your time and to decide on your priorities between your social life and your friendships or your higher principles, and what you want to do in terms of the things that really ignite you, really switch you on. And Chiron's saying, if there's part of you that feels that if you do open up and share your talents, that it may not be fully received in the way you'd like, and that stops you from really being more daring. I think that's what this full moon's asking you to do, is to really believe in yourself. And with the sun edging towards Jupiter as the week draws to a close, what an opportunity. This is a chance for you to really demonstrate the best of yourself, because the sign of Aries is very much about initiative. Of course, it's governed by Mars, which is about drive, getting stuck in, not analysing things too much. Your appreciation of the big picture is really boosted here. So I feel that your sex appeal, for example, can be lifted as this week draws to a close. Your creativity can be at a high. And even if you want to steer some of your time towards the things that are really important to you, do expect to still be very much in demand with your wider circle.